What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm going to tell you about how Kickstarter board games are fundamentally broken. They are either half-truths or all-out lies. Let's discuss the issues. Thank you to my channel sponsor Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. Alright, so first things first, this is not trying to pick a fight at anybody in particular. It's not trying to show like, they did it or anything like that. I am just using an example that's very publicly known, that has already had a lot of the issues aired out and stuff like that, so that you guys are pretty aware of, though I will kind of run over the issues a little bit. But just know that this is a product of the entire industry pretty much doing this. The vast majority of the developers are doing this, whether intentionally or not. I doubt many of them actually are maliciously and intentionally trying to do all of this, but they're doing it nonetheless, and it's because everybody else has become prevalent in the industry, and as somebody who critiques the industry, I think it's worth mentioning, and it's something I've noticed come up more and more as more and more issues arise, especially this year has been kind of rough. The end of last year was kind of rough too for us, and so I'm really trying to kind of talk things over and just kind of let you know, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Whether or not it aligns with you, let me know. Also, I do challenge you to name a developer that doesn't do this. By all means, if you know of one, please let us know so we know where to send our money to. Because as far as I can tell, this is just what you do. If you're making a board game on Kickstarter, this is what you do. Now, I'm sure there are perhaps some exceptions. Most of them are probably super duper indie, but we'll see. I don't know. Let me know. As we go over the issues and I go over things, you try and think of a company in your head that doesn't do this. And if you keep thinking of one, again, please share it. I would love to hear about it. I'd love to look more into it. Okay, so this is Hell the Last Saga, and this was from Mythic Games. Quick synopsis of the issue here. Mythic Games is struggling to deliver anything. They kind of ran out of money. They were just trying to launch Kickstarters and hope that the profits for that paid for everything else. And with the raising costs and bad business practices and a whole host of other issues, they've essentially made it to where they're barely able to ship you anything. And if they do, it's because they asked you for a contribution. Now, Hell the Last Saga is actually one that came out a while ago. In fact, it came out May 12th of 2020. Let me hover over that so you can see a little bit longer. May 12th of 2020 is when it launched. Now, when they launched this campaign, they said the estimated delivery, June of 2021. Now, this is a very common thing that these companies do, is they put it for about a year out, perhaps a year and a half out if they're feeling like, oh, hey, let's try and be honest here. And the year out is really saying we're ready to print and ship it, because it takes months and months and months, especially to get to the end of delivery, for that to actually happen, between printing and having to deal with all the prints, whether it's getting files finalized by the printer as, yeah, we can actually inject this and it'll work kind of thing for our molds, for plastic miniatures and stuff like that, to, coming down with the sizes and all that stuff of what their equipment has versus what you're feeding them, a whole host of other things. Plus, of course, they don't necessarily just print your game and then they're done. You might have to, give them things piecemealed out because they're trying to do a whole bunch of other things. You might be limited by the amount of printers that they have. There's a huge amount of things that could come up. The sicknesses and COVID outbreaks and all sorts of, Chinese New Year stuff. Either way, it can take a while just to print your game. And then once they do that, then they have to actually pack it and sort it and then ship it out to every continent in the entire world. And that, again, takes months just to cross that ocean. It's a big world out there. And those cruise liners, or I don't know if it's a cruise liner, those freight container ship thingies take a while to get across that ocean. It takes months and months. So really what they're saying here, when you see June 2021 as a consumer, you're saying they're ready. They're ready to pretty much print it and ship it. There might be a few touch-ups, a little bit of leeway, because we'll talk about that on their risk and challenges and what they kind of talk about there. But either way, Hell the Last Saga is ready to go. They are done designing it, done developing it, ready to print. And I guess you can probably guess right now the issue. It was not. And in fact, they rarely are. Now, there's a bigger issue with this, but let's go and look at Hell first, and then I'll talk some talking points, right? So if you scroll down here, you're seeing a whole bunch of stuff. First of all, you're seeing a goal, and let me see, what was the goal here? 150,000, which is actually a fairly legitimate thing. Again, it depends on how you decide to print things, if you want to do mass market in China versus not, and a host of other things and upgrades that you do. It depends on how many stretch goals you have versus what your core box is. Many other things. Either way, it's not exactly a small amount. They're saying, hey, if we can get $150,000, we can get it to the people that want it. So what you're saying as a company, when you put that there, and then with the year out, you're saying, and we're pretty confident about that because we're done making it. We just need to print it out. So however many of you come here, that depends on how we'll manufacture and ship it out to you. It's pretty much what they're saying. So you have that. Okay, we need 150,000. And notice that 150,000 is pretty low. That's very much a print order, right? That's very much okay, we just need to print it and ship it, and however many people there, our minimum thing for our smallest way of being able to manufacture this is about 150,000. And we can still get it to you by June 2021, about a year from now. And then you go through here and all you see is fantastic art, a whole bunch of stats that they know about. They know how long it takes to play. They know the size of the miniatures. If you look at the FAQ, they have all the details you could want. It looks like they have plenty of art already completely done. All of the renders, all the pledges, they know exactly how many of each card you're going to get. You're going to get 111 miniatures. You're going to get 260 Fate cards. You're going to get 80 different items for your mini Euro cards. They know how many items are in this game. They know everything because it's done. It's developed. It's finished, right? You look over here and they have all these extra add-ons they've already got beautiful renders of, and they've thought of how to store it, how to present it, how to show it. All the graphics are done here. Everything is good to go. And then of course you get to the stretch goals and stuff like that. And again, you see all of them, none of them are just art. They're all fully finished renders. They are done with this. You just have to print it, right? You're able to kind of design that, but to actually print it, that costs a lot of money up front. So you came to Kickstarter, you're saying, I need money to get this over the edge. I've gotten it this far to where the game's ready to go. I just need 150,000 of your dollars and you'll get it by next year. That's what they're saying here. And that's what you see through all of this. In fact, even more, not only is this all professional, all seemingly done, all of it completed, but you go all the way down and what you'll see is stuff like playthroughs. People are actually even playing this game. They're showing it, they're streaming it, they're giving it to people to play. This is, again, completely done. They're painted miniatures. They have actually already gotten resin sculpts of these and had them professionally painted to show to you. That's a real product. That is really there. This isn't a design. This isn't a concept. This isn't an idea. This is Hell, the Last Saga, the game that's ready to print. That's what they're telling the consumer, and that's what they're funding for. Nowhere here have you seen, please help us, help pay our designers to work on this game and make it. They're saying, this is made, we need to print it and send it to you. That's what this pitching is. That's what the Kickstarter is showing. They already know how much it's going to weigh. They know how much, they already got estimates on that. In fact, producing thousands of products and coordinating their delivery to homes across the planet is a complex business, and there are so many things which could go wrong. This is why they build in as much time for the unforeseen as possible for June 2021. So this is with a buffer, because again, it doesn't take a whole year to deliver, but that means they are ready to go. And even if they're not quite, even if they're, by all means, there's some crazy thing that happens, COVID outbreak or whatever, and they lose months, they can still get it to you by then. We want to ensure that we have the space to deal with any unexpected setbacks and still get your game to you before the estimated delivery date. By June 2021, you should already be halfway through the campaign. That's how ready it goes. That's how complete of a product this is. That's it. And again, it's not just Hell. It's not just Mythic Games. Like I said, please feel free to try and share in the comments below. Let everybody know, especially me, know what company doesn't pitch their game this way. What company says, hey, I want to be paid while I help design this game. I don't have it all finished yet. There's probably a lot that's going to change. I'll come back later once I know what the game even is to then go ahead and crowdfund a big amount to actually print it and ship it. Tell me a company that does that. Please note that the component counts, quality, and rules are all work in progress and subject to change. This little bit down here, and the estimated delivery date for this project is June 21, but please bear in mind as this is only an estimate. These two little sentences here are the only thing in this entire long Kickstarter that gives you a hint that may not be that it could change really. Everything else is reinforcing and just letting you know, don't worry, back with confidence. We've printed our minis, we've painted our minis, we've played the game with people, and you'll get it in a year. All the FAQ, all the communication, all the imagery, all the advertisements on Board Game Geek, on Kickstarter, on other YouTube influencer pages, everywhere that you see this game, it seems like a done deal. Back it, give us $235 for everything, give us $129 and get the whole shebang in a year's time. Guaranteed, maybe even early. Look, they even have the rule book. It's all done. It's ready to go. They are ready, except they weren't. Spoiler alert, they are still developing Hell the Last Saga. They did it with 6 Siege. They just made an announcement, and this is one of the things that spurred this on, saying that, hey, yeah, they actually ended up putting 12 people on this game, whereas originally it was 5. If you look at 6 Siege, nowhere does it say, hey, please pay us to develop this for 2 more years, 3 more years, and then eventually, once it's actually finally finished, will we actually ship it? They all do this. Every single one of them is pitching you a lie. And it's everything. The dollar amount that they want funded, the images they use, the advertising, the FAQ, the communication, the showing off, all of it is pretend. All of it's fake. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get paid while you design a game. A lot of creators do that for various things. There's people who make music and only get funded through Patreon and supporters and stuff like that. And they're literally saying, hey, I'm making this, and while I make it, please support me so that I can feed my family and live my life while I make something that you enjoy. And once I'm done with it, I'll give it to you. Patreon even offers an option where every time you deliver something, that's when you charge them. I mean, there's tons of ways you can do this. A lot of creatives do this. It's a wonderful space to crowdfund things like this. But why aren't they saying, please fund our game designers, or please fund our company while we make a game, and then we'll fund again to actually deliver it? Or why not say, hey, you'll get this game in about 4 to 5 years. We're still developing it. We don't have all the story done. We don't have all the scenarios. None of the, in fact, we kind of only have a hazy idea and a little demo we can play. But even that might change. It's very fake in how much is there. But we have this ready as a proof of concept. Please fund this passion project, as Poots like to say in Kingdom Death Monster, who again is delayed. And again, if you look at Kingdom Death Monster, it all looks like product. It's showing product with a price, right? If you look at this, product with a price, product with a price. Nowhere is it fun for a few years. None of it is get this at the end of this. It's here's what you're getting, here's a price. It is a store. It is presented exactly like a store. Like any other website you go to Amazon, it looks like this. You see the product with a price, with a shipping estimate, and it's all there. And you're assuming when you back it on Amazon, it's a real thing, and they're not just flubbing you and telling you something when actually they have to go design the watch that you just bought. No, you're assuming the watch is built and they just have to ship it to you at the time that they said. Not on Kickstarter, not for board games. For board game Kickstarter crowdfunding, this is what you get. Again, it's not just Mythic Games, it's everybody. Pretty much everybody. Again, if you know an exception, please do share. But it's unfortunate because there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, fund the design. The problem is, you won't fund that. I wouldn't fund that. I don't have the time or capacity in me to go and see, hey, somebody wants to design a game and come back in a couple years once it's designed. I don't want that. I want them to design it for free. Design it based off other funds, your past projects, your other job you're doing, an angel investor, a robbing of a bank. I don't care. It's just not my money. Unless it was my bank, in which case, please rob somebody else's bank, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Scam some old people out of money. Do whatever it is. I don't care. Just have a game ready, and once you're ready, and I like it, I'll pay for you to ship it to me, to make it and ship it. And in fact, go ahead and charge me a little bit extra so you make a good profit so you can also get some retail deals. So you can get started on your next project so that the other person doesn't have to pay you to design it. Instead, you're using it off of the products, the profits of the game that I just bought. That's how you can design your next one. But it's not that way. And again, like how much funding would they get if Hell the Last Saga came out and they said, hey, maybe get one in 4 or 5 years. Right now we're designing it. It might change a lot even. No, you want them to do the effort and then come to Kickstarter, which is what they pretend to do, but they don't actually do that. That's not the case. And again, there are exceptions. There are, and I'm sure you've listed them and I appreciate it. And I plan on actually starting to try and highlight those companies more. So if you want to see, if you like that company, you want to see it highlighted more, let me know. I'm serious about this because at the end of the day, when I show you guys stuff,
it is kind of an advertising. I mean, it's a natural one. They didn't pay for it or anything. It's just me showing you some cool Hell the Last Saga game that I think is ready, but it ends up not. And then I feel bad because I sent a whole bunch of you guys there. I bought it too. I mean, we all did. We all do it all the time for all these games. How many times have you bought an expansion and then like 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 2 years after the estimated delivery, are they saying, hey, we're still finalizing the development of that expansion? They sold you a piece of a picture and said, give us $120. We'll pretend to say that we'll give it to you in a year. They don't even have it developed yet. None of the scenarios are written, right? None of the stories written. They're still writing story 2 years later, 3 years later. It's BS. They told you, hey, get 5 missions. They don't even have 1 mission for that expansion. Now they have to go find out and figure out how to make 5 missions for that. Maybe they have a rough draft somewhere, an Excel sheet with some bullet points. I don't know. It really bothers me that it's so backwards. It's just lying through your teeth. And again, I'm not saying lying as in it's malicious. Like they're like, oh, we're going to trick them all. It's just what they do to get the money. And the problem is, I think, when you come to Kickstarter. If you come to Kickstarter without your expansion developed and ready to go, don't sell it to me. And if you do, let me know it's not developed. Let me know, hey, we plan on making 5 scenarios, but honestly, we have none. We have a picture of the box. Tell me that. We did all the renders. We don't even know if they're printable. I have to often, when you're seeing the renders, they couldn't make those physically if they wanted to. It's physically impossible because they wouldn't be able to remove it out of the mold because the detail's wrong, because they don't even know what plastic they're going to use. Nonetheless, how it's going to be made and by who and any of that kind of stuff. It's really frustrating to see this happen so much. I'm getting tired of updating you guys on these updates where 2 years later, they're still developing the game they said they would deliver 2 years ago. Because that's not how they pitched it. And therefore, that's not how you should deal with it. But it is. Anyway, didn't mean to get all fired up there. You guys, again, let me know your thoughts on this too. Am I in the weeds? Am I wrong? Do you have more examples? Either for or against? I would love to have a conversation with you down below. And again, let's discuss those good companies that are really doing the right thing and pitching it right and still funding. I think it's possible. I really do. You just gotta be honest and maybe do a little bit of extra work before you hit the Kickstarter. And that extra work isn't just art assets so it looks like it's done. How about actually working on, I don't know, the game itself? Maybe try that. Anyway, guys, take care. I'll talk to you guys in real soon. Bye, guys.